Even your firstborn. All right, Brother Judah, let's move on. Let's go to Romans chapter 16. See, our mothers and our fathers turned after them gods. Now, it's a lot of us here who may say, well, I don't remember me actually ever bowing to no image, making no calf. See, they went back into Egypt and they heard because they made one of the chief gods of Egypt. They made that calf. They made that golden, they made that gold calf. Chief deity in Egypt. Let's look here though. These are the gods that once we have been freed from bondage, we turn back to this weak element. Romans 16, verse 17 and 18, bro.
Now I beseech you, brethren, mark them which cause divisions and offenses contrary to the doctrine which ye have learned, and avoid them.
You know why you gotta see? People take this lightly, like avoid. Do you know what avoid means? Avoid. In my car, because I don't want it to fall apart, I avoid potholes.
There you go.
Because of the dietary law, and I learned it, I avoid eating swine. I avoid eating octopus. Altogether, I stay away from it. And if it's close in the vicinity, get it away from me. You might as well have just killed it and it's bleeding all over the table as far as I'm concerned. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead. This is why we should avoid them.
For they that are such serve not our Lord Jesus Christ, but their own belly.
Wait, hold on. They serve their own self-interest.
That's right.
They do not serve Christ. And we have been freed from the bondage of selfishness.
There you go.
So how do you turn back to self-interest?
Right.
Your own passion within you, what you want, is what you serve, not Christ.
That's right.
Finish that.
And by good words and fair speeches deceive the hearts of the simple.
And everyone who do this ain't no dummy.
That's right.
Some of these people know book and will quote Bible to you why the way is not right the way.
Mm-hmm. Well, you don't have to go that way now.
Not that. See, that is not what the Lord was talking about. And some of them are better speakers than I can be, or you can be. Mm-hmm. And by the wisdom they have and the great oratory skills they have, they'll give you a convincing argument. See, this is the danger of it. How you have to be sure. And if you have those who are going to walk contrary and cause division, then you got to avoid them, because they are turning back to the bondage that we all are supposed to have. We all were supposed to have left. Let's confirm it even more. Philippians 3, verses 14 through 19. Philippians 3, verses 14 through 19. Y'all probably like, what this got to do with salvation? Everything to do with salvation. Everything to do with salvation. Because when salvation comes, you have to be ready. You have to be in a mindset. And when you're given salvation, you can't turn back. Our mothers and fathers were given salvation literally. Why isn't it that we haven't been given salvation literally? Or why is it that they're teaching it? I remember one guy said, he said, yo, man, the only problem I got with Christians is it seemed like y'all all waiting to die. I said, what? He said, man, everybody talk about going to heaven like people ain't even worried about their life now. Right. That's the impression you give someone who don't sit down and just really build in the word. They get the impression that you can't wait to die. Because what you really want is in the sky, past the firmament. You're going to go to your glorious home.
If they don't entangle yourself in the affairs of this life, we going to heaven.
And they read, but
butchering the scripture.
That's Bible. Go ahead,
brother. Philippians 3 and 13.
14.
14.
Yeah.
I press toward the mark for the prize of the high calling of God in Christ Jesus.
When we left out of Egypt, what were we brought out with?
The high hand.
A high hand. This high calling that we've been brought out of bondage to, it's the same thing. It's a process that has led to this high calling. It didn't just happen. You being stuck in oppression and in captivity and being brokenhearted and being browbeat is what has led to the calling being so high, because you leave in such a low state. That's all Christ came to do, was to heal the brokenhearted, set the captive free, to make right that which was lame. All of that is low.
Set at liberty those that are bound.
I'm putting you somewhere that's high. So the bar is high. Go ahead.
Verse 15. Let us therefore, as many as be perfect, be thus minded. And if in anything ye be otherwise minded, God shall reveal even this unto you.
That's right. He will let us know if we not on the right track. He'll let us know. Go ahead.
Nevertheless, whereto we have already attained, let us walk by the same rule. Let us mind the same thing.
What have we attained unto thus far? I'm talking about just this congregation. We've attained unto the gospel of selflessness. We've attained unto understanding that it is our job and our duty and obligation to keep our brother and our sister. All of these things we have attained unto. We found out all of these things. We are to continue to walk in that mind and to mind them things so that we can perfect the things that we have attained to. He's like, yo, what we've already been given, let us all in the same mind and as one hold on to that. Let us hold on to that. Let us not go backward from that. Continue.
Brethren, be followers together of me, and mark them which walk, so as ye have us for an ensample. For many walk, of whom I have told you often, and now tell you, even weeping, that they are the enemies of the cross of Christ.
They are the enemies of the self-denial of yourself.
That's right.
Why? Go ahead.
Whose end is destruction, whose God is their belly, and whose glory is in their shame, whose mind earthly things.
Brothers and sisters, what is God? The belly.
The belly.
And by nature, the belly is no God. But yet, we have come so far that, yeah, you might tell me that you don't remember ever bowing down in front of a golden image. Maybe you don't. But I can bet you you could point out hundreds of times that you served your own self-interest.
Self-idolatry, huh?
Every person in here can say they have served their own self-interest many times, and you could probably name them to me. Probably you would surprise me if you just letting it all hang out, like, you? Yo, when you walk in newness of life, the things you done before, when you share with others so that you can encourage them, to let them know, I'm where you, I've been where you at. So I want to walk this with you, but you got to be serious. If I've been there, the reason why I have to be so serious with you is because I don't have time to be play and be pulled back to it. Brothers and sisters, do you know it's almost impossible for some people that have met me, and I'm not making myself to be anything, but I'm just letting you know what I've gotten. They find it hard to believe that I ever fornicated, that I ever sold drugs or did drugs, because they don't know me from 1996 and 97. They only know me from the last 5 years. Let's say some guy I met 2006 and we just been getting tighter and tighter. And when in a moment of talking about what the Lord has brought us from, and I share with a brother, well, you know, brother, I got some skeletons in my closet, man. I did this, I did that. Cat looking at me like, okay, I got to take your word for it, because how I perceive you, I just can't see that. That let me know that the Lord is doing a work in me, because I know me. I can believe it. That's what I'm telling you. Oh, I know I did it. I ain't even got to believe I did it. I know I did it. So if you do see something that causes you to perceive what I told you as like, it's hard to believe you was that guy. Okay. Then all praise due to the Most High. Because the only reason why you don't see that now is because of something I've been chasing after that he put in front of my face. That's what takes responsibility for any good. Any good that people give to you, y'all know where it comes from, don't y'all?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm going to say yep with a loudness. Yep. All right, then. Clap it up. Brothers and sisters, I really think that if we can get away from serving our own self-interest, we can really do this thing, man. We can really do it. We could look each other in the face and say, oh no, I definitely have had fears, man. But I'm not walking on the fear. David said in the Psalm, he was surrounded by enemies and was afraid, but his move he made was not predicated upon him being afraid. It was upon him trusting in the Lord. Because if he didn't, he would have probably ran off the battlefield. So I'm not saying that thing in the flesh that can rear up and cause us to be like, man, this thing can be hard, man. This thing, I don't know sometimes, man. Stuff seems hard. I don't got no problem with no one ever saying that to me. All that let me know to do is to keep you in prayer and to give a word of encouragement and to stay close by you. You don't leave people who hurt. You stay by them, don't you? Until they help come. And if they help, then where's you going? Let us go to our next chapter. Let us go back to Exodus now. So we don't compare that running, leaving bondage. And as you see the oppression chase you, your mind start to turn back to maybe it was better to be in the bondage still than to be chased by it. And what they were turning back to were the gods of Egypt. And what we will find ourselves turning back to is the God of us. Because if capitalism has done anything right in its purpose, it has created the most selfish things I've ever heard of in all my life. It has created within us who love this culture such a sense of purpose and pride in it and what it stands for, that to hell with the rest of the world. To hell with everybody religion, whatever kind of government structures y'all got. This is the best thing that has ever happened for man. Capitalism and the opportunities it has given us. Y'all looking at me like y'all don't know what side I'm on. That sounded too good. That sounded like I'm on a side. I was on that side. And so was every one of you in here. And I'm saying was with all hope and belief that it's a past tense thing for us. Do we find ourselves being here, having to work? Yeah, all of that. We find all of that. Daniel had to work in Babylon too. As a matter of fact, he worked hand in hand sometimes with the king and with officials. But that did not determine that he was not the servant of Yah. So because we are here and find ourselves in society having to do things in it so that we can live, doesn't mean that we are a part of the society necessarily. But if we stay individual minded and we continue to follow after a path of privately hoarding all the wealth we can get, so we will be all right. And the best thing we could do for the cat next to us is tell him, the motto in this country is be ye warmed and filled. That's the motto. Because that's what you're saying when you're saying, look, I accomplished the American dream. And you can too. And leave. This country has been set up so that every citizen has the same opportunity to do whatever they want.